Still to come on Market Kitchen. If it's good enough for an ex-Bond girl, then it's good enough for me. I wrestle up a nutritious, delicious and simple salad for Honor Blackman.
And former Food magazine editor Orlando Mirren tells us why he gave up a high-flying career to make his foodie dreams come true. Our next guest has graced our screens for over 60 years. She's probably best known for her roles as the Avengers' Mrs. Kathy Gale, James Bond's Pussy Galore in Goldfinger, and the sexy grandmother in the 90s sitcom The Upper Hand. Please welcome Honor Blackman. That was one of my favourite, The Upper Hand. I used to watch that religiously.
Oh, I know. It was a lovely show.
It was great. It was great fun. Now, listen, getting back to that point, I mean, you famously kept your figure all those years. I mean, are you a constant sort of healthy eater?
Yes, I think I'm a pretty sensible eater. I mean, I fall down on the golden syrup sponge occasionally.
Right.
But I went online and I got this Nutri profile, and you fill in a questionnaire all about what you eat and drink. And then they send you a report back as to how well you're doing with your diet.
Okay.
And I was congratulated.
Well done.
So
they thought I was really rather good.
A spokesperson for them now?
A spokesperson? Well, I think it's a terribly good idea because we all know we're supposed to eat sensibly, but until you put down what it is you do eat, then they don't. I mean, they can tell you afterwards how good you're doing.
It's a free service. And you get,
yes,
it's quite quick results back.
Yeah, absolutely. I was terribly thrilled with mine, I must say.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be too excited about my results if I did.
I'm not looking at your
So, Honor, what was it like then to work with Sean Connery on Goldfinger back in the 60s?
Yes.
Exciting, I'd have guessed.
Yeah, I mean, it's the sexiest man on two legs, so... I mean, he was the greatest Bond, I think.
I mean, how does he compare with Daniel Craig?
I mean, I think Daniel is a terrific actor. But there's no question, I'm just prejudiced, you know, wouldn't you be? He was the greatest. I mean, he did have the advantage of being the first.
You've carried on doing your acting in lots of different roles, but are you still doing your one-woman show?
I'm not at the moment. Though, when I do my one-woman show...
What does that involve, then?
The present one, when I start again, is all about my life, which is that everybody... It's my fourth one, and everybody's always said, oh, is it about you? And it never is. And so when we got to the fourth, I thought, well, why not? Okay. And it works terribly well. And what is so funny, since you're interested in cooking...
Yes.
When we finish the show, most of the restaurants are closed. And those that are open are a bit, you wonder about them. So we always have fish and chips. And so there I am with a bottle of champagne in the car with my manager. What is
Sipping champagne.
Oh, yes.
In the back of the car and eating
greasy
fish and chips. You wouldn't find that on your Nutri profile, would you? You don't type that one in, do you?
No, steams up the windows, I want to say.
And not too often, though. Fish and chips once in a while, eh?
Absolutely.
And while, I've got something a little bit more healthy up my sleeve for you.
Really?
Okay, so I get cracking?
Yeah, go on then. Go on then.
Now then, I've got a delicious salad. It's a cauliflower and green bean salad, and with that I've got some tarragon and some flat leaf parsley, some red onion over here, some lovely Italian dolciolata cheese, some lemon and some pine nuts. Now the first thing I'm going to do is get my cauliflower going. Now I really like using vegetables in a salad, and I don't think we do it that often in this country, and it's lovely. It's a lovely way to get your 5 a day. So a little bit of salt in my water, in goes the cauliflower. As you can see, really quite small florets. In it goes. So there's definitely Italian inspiration behind this dish. I'm just going to give this a little shake and let it simmer for a couple of minutes, and while that's going on I'm going to get my other pans on. A little bit of olive oil there and just a dry pan. So it's very simple, but you've got to keep your eye on all these different pans, so I'll try not to burn the pine nuts. So pine nuts, in they go. Now, do you like Italian food, everybody?
Yep, absolutely.
I love it.
The pine nuts are just toasting gently into the oil. I've got quite a large red onion, so I'm just going to add maybe half of it. It's very finely diced because this is actually going to form the basis of the dressing. So I'm going to put a little bit more oil in. There we go, just to get that going. Next, green beans. So, green beans are just coming into season. What else would you use in this dish, Matt?
You could jumble up all sorts of bits and pieces, couldn't you? I mean, it's one of those things you could change throughout the seasons.
So I think even towards
the beans could go to What's it? What am I trying to say?
Runner beans.
Runner beans.
Yeah. Carrots.
Purple broccoli.
Purple broccoli could do, yeah. So I'm just going to line these up and nip off the ends. And they're quite short, so I'm going to not cut them in half. If you've got longer beans, thinking about the size of the broccoli, the cauliflower rather, you want maybe a couple of inches in length. So in they go. They take about 2 minutes less than the cauliflower, which is why I've got the cauliflower going first. Okay, in they go, maybe a couple more.
Do you always cook Italian at home, Savannah?
Quite a lot, I think. I think especially, you know, if you're feeling a bit, I don't know, down in the dumps or it's a rainy day, you go back to your mother's kitchen, don't you? You do, so I turn immediately to pasta and tomatoes, definitely.
Yeah.
So, okay, nip these ends off and into the pan. While that is going on, my pine nuts don't seem to be doing very much, but I'll just give them a shake. Just a little bit of golden colour on them. Oh yeah, look, they're starting to go. In fact, I think I'm going to remove them because remember, they'll carry on browning just a little bit from the heat of the pan. Let's get rid of that. Now, I've got 2 herbs that I'm going to be adding into this simple salad. The first one is tarragon, which I'm going to cook very slightly. So I think it's quite easy to overdo tarragon, isn't it?
It's a really strong herb, you've got to be very careful.
It's one of those ones that really takes over.
It's so aniseedy.
Yeah, so a little bit. Once I've chopped it up, probably only going to end up with a teaspoon or so of the herb. Pop this into the pan and just sizzle it for a few seconds.
Oh no, what sort of food did you grow up with, Charles?
Scrag end of neck.
Nice.
Lovely.
It's very popular now. Charge a fortune in Barcelona restaurants for that one.
Pearl barley and all that kind of stuff. My mother wasn't a great cook, but she did do that very well.
Right.
She made Victoria sponges that sounded like that if you dropped them.
Is that where you got your healthy eating from?
Yeah, avoiding, yeah.
Okay, so my red onion is sizzled quite nicely, so I'm just going to turn it off the heat. And really to make up the dressing, I'm just going to add some lemon juice. I've got a very beautiful Italian looking lemon here I'm going to squeeze in. And I've got a tablespoon or 2 of olive oil, so for that probably just the juice of 1 juicy lemon will do it. Get that bit out. Do you like salads generally, Honor?
Yes. I like almost everything.
Do you?
Actually, yes.
Even though you're healthy?
Yes. Doesn't mean to say I eat it all the time, but I like it.
So everything then really in moderation is your message?
Absolutely.
Okay. So look, I'm ready to fish this out. It's only taken a few minutes. Scoop up these vegetables. Now the beans are maybe a tiny bit to the bite, but I wouldn't worry about that. And I'm going to do it straight onto the serving platter. So this is quite a very friendly, easy-going dish. So I'm going to put it into the dish that I'm going to serve it in. I think it's quite informal, you know, sort of a... We've had a little bit of sunshine, haven't we? A little bit of a sitting outside in the garden kind of dish, maybe with some grilled meat or chicken. Okay, and that goes. Now, Theo, are you a cauliflower fan?
I do like cauliflower, and yes, you talk about sfumato, and I remember having this cauliflower sfumato in Alba in Italy, and this dish came and it was baked, it was all puffed and beautiful, and this waiter came and sliced about 30 grams of white truffle on top. And it's one of the most delicious things I've ever eaten. Cauliflower and truffles are a really good combination.
Oh, yes, all right then.
I've never had truffle.
So,
You haven't had white truffle?
Really?
I'm really roughly chopping my parsley here. Now, the dressing is going to go on. So it's all here in this pan, and it's got a really, really pretty pink colour. And I'm just going to sprinkle it across the top. Now, I'm going to serve this straight away. One of the reasons I really like a hot vegetable salad is because as it cools, the vegetables really sort of soak in all that lovely flavour, all the dressing. It looks really pretty, doesn't it? So, next, my toasted pine nuts. Just a little sprinkle across the top. Very easy, very spring-like, I think. Parsley. And finally, the star of the show, the dolciolata. You've gone very quiet over there.
No, I'm waiting to eat it.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the meat to come out.
Oh no, I've just got the
Slice of
salad.
Parma ham or a Berwick
Okay,
ham.
crumble
One
the cheese
slab
on
of
top.
beef.
And because it's warm, it's going to melt in just a little bit. So there it is, it's my cauliflower and green bean salad with dolciolata and pine nuts. To make my salad, buy cauliflower, some green beans, a red onion, a lemon, a bunch of fresh tarragon and flat leaf parsley from the greengrocer. You'll also need some dolciolata cheese and pine nuts.
Savannah is very nice. It's very healthy.
That's that's okay.
Isn't it? I love the cheese in that. That's giving it that sort of, you know,
and a bit of crunch from the pine nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. That's really nice, really nice. Guys, what do you think of it?
Really nice combination. I love the toasted pine nuts. Really sort of brings it out because it is quite clean and healthy.
Startlingly healthy.
The nut and the cheese really gives it that. It gives it a bit of fat. But you know what's really nice? The fact that you've marinated the vegetables when they're hot. They've soaked up all the dressing, so it's really. And
I would leave it. I'd leave it for a little while. You know, just set it aside at room temperature to do its thing.
Really nice.
So, Anna, what do you think of it? Sort of thing you'd be eating at home?
I think it's perfect. It's wonderful for my diet too. It's really yummy.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. Very
there
glad.
you go. Success.
Good.
The salad was delicious. It was very nice and light, but the dolce latte added a nice kind of decadence and creaminess.
I thought it was really interesting. I loved the colours. That was my favourite bit about it. The beautiful red of the onions was fantastic.
Whilst walking in southwest France, our next guest, a food writer and former editor